Hello, everyone. It is me, Mira Fazbear. I am here to talk about 2015, November 16th. The year 2015 was the worst year of my life. It is the day I lost someone, I guess, important to me. This is my story. Once upon a time, I had a family. Now, you all are probably thinking that me as a YouTuber, and me being an idol to everyone, I had an amazing, awesome life, and I have so many friends. You guys, no, that's a lie. When I was growing up, I was 3 years old. 10 years before I was born, my dad went to this cult. They told my dad not to see his family for 10 years. The cult leader died. Later, he met my mom. Later, they had me and my brother. My brother was diagnosed with chronic Menkes disease. It is a disease that the mother would be the carrier and pass it to the boy. The boy would have blonde hair, blue eyes. The blonde hair would signify the Menkes. It would be Menkes hair. And if he would be my age, he would look like a baby, a little child. Yeah, and he would not walk, he would not speak. The doctor said he would live for 24 hours, but they were sure hell wrong. He lived for 14 months and 1 day. And during that time before he died, my dad went back to the Philadelphia Church of God, the cult that killed my father. There was a witch there, not a real witch, just a witch in general. Her name was Kathy Locke. Now, what has she have to do with my dad's death? Well, let's get right into that. My grandmother called me an expensive child because 3 years after I was born, my grandmother had to pay people, everyone, extra money to save me because if I went with my dad during the last great day, they would go to this place and kill their children. Yes, they go to this location where they will be saved and the rest of the people in the world will die. They would have to have knives and guns and kill their children. The children, to go to the Philadelphia Church of God, all children are banned going there. That's the reason why. And if the last great day doesn't happen, the parents have to live throughout the rest of their lives that they kill their children. So that's one of the reasons why my mother saved me, and my grandmother too. Mostly my grandmother. My mom could not afford it, but she tried everything in her power and she succeeded. Years later, when I was staying with my dad, sometimes I would call him bad dad, sometimes I would call him good dad because he would get in fight, he would argue with me for no reasons and stuff, this and that, but he was a comic book and a nerd person. He was, me and him had a strange relationship, and my evil stepmother drugged me and my father one time. When I was eating some rice, I saw her pills, and one of them was clear, and it tasted like goddamn onion. I thought it was an onion. I looked very carefully. It was her pill. She tried to poison me and probably my dad. She hid all of my dad's medicine, high blood pressure medicine, so that he couldn't take it. You want to know what the cure was to help him with his high blood pressure? God and herbs. Not from this century, but centuries way back. Like the herbs from the past. Yeah. Years go by. I, terrified of Dad, he banned all my necklace, including the Millennium Puzzle. He says, he yells at Mother saying, why would you make her wear that? It conjures demons. Even anything to do with Egypt. Before he went to the Philadelphia Church of God, he loved everything to do with Egypt. He loved everything to do with comic books, the Beatles, all that stuff. If it wasn't for the cult, he would be alive. If it wasn't for Kathy, he'd be alive. You want to know how many husbands that she married? 5. My dad was the 5th one. All of her husbands are deceased because of her. Yes. And talking about it's just sick to my stomach thinking about that bitch. What I want to do, I want to find that Philadelphia Church of God. I have no idea where it's located. I want to pour gasoline all around it, and with all those members in there, I want to light it on fire. Because for what they did, half of their members are deceased, just like my dad. This cult is the worst. Now, 2015 arrived. Here comes the sad part. Okay. Give me a minute. Sorry, guys, it's been about 5 minutes. I'm trying to think, and it's just awkward talking about it. But if anyone can relate to my story, let me know. Okay, so 2015 arrived. My mother was diagnosed with thyroid lymphoma cancer. The doctor said that she was not going to make it, and during that time, my dad had strokes. His last one was the 13th one, but that's the one that we already know. He probably had more, and because he didn't take his high blood pressure medicine, one time he said the whole place was spinning. Everything that was standing on, like, say, shelves and stuff, they were all lifting up in the air and moving around, kind of like what Jedis move and stuff, like that kind of, I don't know, I'm trying to describe it. That's what he told me. My evil stepmother yelled and hit my dad, tossed him on the ground, and threw a bookshelf on top of my dad. He crawled, got away from that witch, that monster, and then he called 911. And then she said, "That I'm sorry, Arthur, I'm sorry." And Dad just had enough. They took her away. 30 days later, she came back, and he was dead. During those 30 days, we begged him time and time again to live with my aunt up in Norwich or Connecticut, I think. I don't know. But she lived in New Hampshire. She lived at a place up in the hill in New Hampshire, far in the woods. She said, "Arthur, stay with us." Even before that incident happened, Dad and Mom went to court. And even the judge said, "Take your high blood pressure medicine. Your daughter needs you. You're going to die." Mom says that you're going to die and you're not going to make it until Thanksgiving. Mother was right. So during the 30 days when my dad was alone in the house, I showed up November 9th. It was the last great day I ever had with him. We made food. We were insanely silly. And it was the best time I ever had having dinner with my mom and my real father. Ugh, don't call him. Ugh, I hate that word. With my dad. With him. He told me not to tell my evil stepmother about this. I said I won't. But on the 12th, or on the 11th, she came back. That psycho came back to my dad. I did not want to show up there. I was terrified of her. My dad fell down the stairs. He went back upstairs. He sat down on the couch. That's when he had his final stroke. He did not move for 11 hours. What did my evil stepmother do for the last 11 hours? I think she was gloating because I was not there. What kind of person would leave a person on the couch for 11 hours with a massive stroke? What kind of sick person would do that? At 11 o'clock at night, they went to the hospital. It was 2.5 stars. I swear to God, if they went to a 5-star, he'd be alive still. Everyone was mean. The nurses, the doctors, everyone. And seeing my dad on his deathbed, it just shattered me to pieces. I couldn't even look him in the eye. Everyone tried to hug him and stuff. The nurses and doctors said that he was unresponsive. He could not move. Mother told me to hug him. I went on top of the bed. They said, "Don't bother. He will not move." Sorry, I'm getting a little eye watery. I was hugging him. I was saying, "It's me. It's me, Mira." You want to know what he did? He lifted his arm up with all of his strength and might. He gave me a hug, and everyone was so surprised. Out of everyone there, his sister, Uncle Mike, including my mom, my evil witch stepmother, whatever she did, killed my dad. Right. Up next, he gave me a hug. I went back and forth from my house to New Hampshire for the next 4 days. I went to bed. My mother got a phone call. It was at 1 o'clock or 1:15. My dad passed away at 1 o'clock a.m. in the morning. He was pronounced dead. And it was Kathy or Auntie Rachel on the phone. I totally forgot. Or doctor. It was Auntie Rachel or my evil witch of a stepmother was there on the phone. Mother gets in my bedroom. She says, Mira, wake up. I'm so sorry. It's Dad. Mira, I'm so sorry. He's gone. I'm so sorry. I'm like, I did not believe a single word that she said. His last thing in the hospital, 2 days before he died, I asked him, "You promised to see Star Wars, the new movie, where the first movie where Rey came out?" "Yeah." He says, "I promise." I even brought Star Wars collections. He promised all sorts of stuff. And most thing I hate about him, he promised me shit. He promised me stuff. He broke all those promises. I hate him for not taking his medicine. I hate the fact he's dead. I hate the fact every fucking day I have to live for the rest of my life knowing that he is dead. Which part of me is kind of glad because I didn't even have a voice back then. And because I was terrified of him. I came home crying and puking when I saw Bad Dad. And then, but it. Anyways, I did not believe for a single moment. I was in denial that he was dead. I get up, I get dressed. I thought my evil stepmother Kathy was pulling a prank on me. She was not. I went there. Auntie Rachel was crying. Her husband Mike, I call him Uncle Mike, he was crying. I went over. I see him. I touch his hand, his arm, his face. Cold as a fucking rock. He was gone. I cried. I hugged him. I stayed with him until everyone left. My evil stepmother stayed there. I don't know what she did, but she killed him. Just like she killed all of her husbands. Just like the Philadelphia Church of God killed all of their members. They killed my father. They killed him. They killed him. They fucking killed him. If I find everyone who works at the Philadelphia Church of God, I'm going to make them pay and suffer for what they did. That I can promise all of you. I've been doing that vow since he died. 2 days or 4 days later after he passed, he was buried in a place. He kept saying that he wanted to be buried right next to my brother or with the Bakers. No, my evil stepmother did not want him to be buried with the Bakers or with anyone. He is buried at a place where he did not want to be buried. You want to know what he told me one time? Mira, when my time comes, play the Beatles song Twist and Shout. I'm like, okay, that's my vow. So when I stay at his funeral, I wear something red and black because Dad always used to know me as the Power Red Ranger. Because who the fuck? I love the Power Rangers. He got me Power Rangers, Beatles, Star Wars toys. We went to Target and Walmart and stuff. All that stuff. All that stuff. No, I barely go there anymore. Okay, so during his funeral, it was not a funeral. It was probably a church, Philadelphia Church of God gathering. You want to know why? Everyone from his place where he worked, they even asked us if we were Philadelphia Church of God members. I'm like, fuck no. They said, I told them that I'm his daughter, and they're like, they put on happy faces because he always told me, they always told me that he said all great stuff about me, how I made art things for him, this and that. And I'm like, thank you. And I give them a hug. We sit down, and the Philadelphia Church of God leader keeps complaining about blah this, blah that. The dead have no value. He's the third coming, third in command, rising from the dead. I'm like, God is not real. If he was real, he would have told my dad to snap out of it. If he was real, he would have stopped COVID. If God was real, he would have protected and destroyed this cult. God is not real. He's a figment of everyone's imaginations. That's been going on for fucking centuries, everyone. Because you want to know why the centuries of it being fake? They want your money. They want your money, guys. They want your money. The church does not know the truth. The Big Bang, there's a whole bunch of science. You gotta look on it scientifically. Not say, God created this, God created that, God created that. It's sparks and particles and everything. All this stuff. The church wants to say that God created because deep down they don't know the answer of how the world was created. So, literally. So, I went into the car. I couldn't even contain myself. I was pure anger in the funeral. Auntie Rachel looked at me, my dad's sister, said, "Is that Mira? She's so angry." Me and my mom went into the car until his coffin was moved. There was no wake. There was no funeral for him. It was a church gathering. Fuck the church. Fuck the fucking church. Fuck them all to hell for all I care. Anyways. So, we went to the cemetery and they were talking like this, blah that, the dead have no value. Everyone saw me with my fist. I told Mother silently, grinding my teeth, "Mom, can you hold my fist? I'm going to punch him." I imagined punching him and lifting up in the air, making him hit the spikes, getting him impaled from the goddamn fence. Because you want to know what? Now you're dead and you don't have any value. You want to know something? Dead have tons of value. The dead have value no matter if they're dead or not. Because we are people. We are living beings. And no matter if we die or not, we all have value no matter what assholes say. We all have value. We all have importance in life and even after. We all should know that. We all should fucking know that. We all have value no matter what it is. No matter what we are. We all have value. And that's never going to change. From my pain, my suffering. 2 weeks after he died, I asked my evil stepmother to save his stuff. 2 weeks later, when we decompressed, she took everything, 300 years of my dad's side of the family, the Bakers. All of that stuff's been thrown out. He sold my dad's stuff for $50 or $100. My mom even told me that stuff cost way more, like $2,000 each. She even told that to my evil stepmother. She's not even worth of an evil stepmother. My mom told her She nearly fainted. So worth it. I cried like a whale when all of his stuff was gone. She yelled at me for doing that, and Mom said that she's mourning the loss of her father. At that point, all of the memories of him and her arguing, I screamed at them saying, "That's enough. I've had it. Stop yelling. I've had about enough." A few days later, or a day later, she takes that stuff and she gets it out of the house. I take it. I never see her again. My biggest mistake during my last great day, I feel like it was a mistake. I should have taken the Baker family ring. I should have taken tons of the Baker, Beatles, Star Wars stuff if he was going to die. I was in denial throughout the entire time. And during the end of 2015, that is the time my grandmother, who passed away 2 years ago on my birthday, she fell down a flight of staircase and broke her entire ankle. 4 years later, after 2016, or after 2015, in 2020, my mother was pronounced cancer-free. But yeah, that is the story of my anger, my suffering, and my pain. And we even did tons of stuff like a book of Power Rangers. And since he died, I made it a promise to gather all of the stuff that he lost. You want to know what else he threw away? My brother's toys when he was a baby. All of his baby toys. What kind of person would throw away a child's toys even if he's dead or not? It is not fair. It's no fair for anyone. But at least I got some of his stuff. And even a box of my dad's stuff when he was little. There was even a bookcase she threw away when my dad was 18. That thing is ancient. It's even older than I am, and she threw it away. I even tried to check in the trash back then. It was gone. Nothing left. 2 days before his funeral, you know the scarab necklace? Well, apparently there's a locket. So I put a picture of me and Dad. The picture came from me and him, and I think with my mom, taking a picture of me and him having fun at Friendly's. We sit down, I sit down right next to him, Mom takes a picture, and then I'm like, screw it. He denied me some stuff about Egypt, but then one time Auntie Rachel just snapped him out of it, saying, "Your daughter loves Egypt like you did, so help her. Help her know about it." And my dad just said, "Fine." So he gave me a little book and stuff, and I'm just like, no, 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 I don't need it, I don't need it. I was just terrified of him back then. And that was when before he died, or the year before he had too many strokes and passed away. He, I put the picture of me and him in the scarab and locked it. It's called Having Revenge because he denied me of my Egypt stuff. So it was his turn to suffer inside of a locket that had a fucking scarab. So I call that even with him. It's been about 8 years. 2015, November 16th. It is 2023, November 16th. And you will probably see this being uploaded November 17th. It's been about 8 years. I have never visited his grave for the last 8 years. I try to keep looking online and stuff. I even wrote it all down where he's buried. One day, if I have driver's license, I'm going to go to his grave. Because he did not a proper burial. He did not have a good funeral. He didn't even have a funeral. They were talking about God and all that crap and stuff. Do you know in the Philadelphia Church of God, half of their members are dead because of what they did to their members, they did to my father. My evil stepmother and him hated each other. They wanted a divorce. They even asked them. They said no. Kathy married too many people, 4 people, who were deceased. And Dad was the 5th one. I imagine by now that she married a 6th person and that 6th person is already dead. She and him were 4th forced him married. One day he even told me, Mira, if I get divorced, I'm going to take off the wedding ring and run around the entire apartment screaming, yay! And stuff. I said, do it. He says he can't. He's forced to be married and stuff. All that bullshit. I'm like, you're not forced to be married. You think you are. No one's forced to be married, guys. If you want to get divorced, if you want to get off of being divorced, do it. You are your own person. You are your own person. No one forces you to be married. It's called having free will. If you want a divorce, fucking get it. But I never had a big voice after Dad died. After he died, I had a voice that lodged out. And during 2017, I think April 11th or April 13th, I forgot. But that is the time I made a YouTube channel. I should have made it more quicker before Dad died. I should have found out like how to make a YouTube channel at the beginning of 2015 because I think me and him would have pulled really insane good videos. That's what I imagine and stuff. But yeah, that is 2015. Worst year of my life. You're probably thinking, did you cry during his 8-year anniversary? Well, the answer is no. I didn't cry. But thinking about him too much with so much anger because we had a love-hate relationship. I had so much hate building towards him and stuff. And even after he's gone, I still have anger in me. He's not going to walk down me in the hallway when I get married or when I have a date. He's not going to do any of that. Nope. Disappointing. But one day when I do get married, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put 3 chairs empty, and I'm even going to put his picture, and my grandmother's picture, and my brother's picture. Because why not? He's there. He will be there whether he likes it or not. And no matter what happens, my brother will be there. Even if they're not there physically, they will be there spiritually. That's it. Okay, that's the story of 2015. I did not introduce him to Five Nights at Freddy's because he would probably deny it and stuff. Because he wasn't really a horror one. He said, that conjures demons and all that stuff. All that bullshit. Which, what he was talking about is full of baloney and all that shit. That's what the church always told him. But that was a lie. He loved horror movies. He loved Frankenstein. He loved The Mummy, Dracula, Werewolf. Yeah, he loved all that stuff. Besides the Beatles and Star Wars and Star Trek. I mean, really. But haunted animatronics from Five Nights at Freddy's, that answer was a big fat no. I was not going to tell him that. That say, oh, there's this new game called Five Nights at Freddy's. Dad, would you like to play it? I'm certain we'll knock your socks off, Dad. I'm very certain he would have said the answer is no. Conjure demons, Mira, don't play a demon to say. Well, does not conjure demons. You want to know the demon? It's Freddy Fazbear when he jump scares the shit out of you. He's a demon. Speaking of Freddy Fazbear, at night at 3 a.m., we're going to be summoning Freddy Fazbear, so wish me good luck. Anyways, if anyone can know an experience like me, put it down in the comments below. Anyone lost a loved one? Actually, speaking of which, one of you commented that you lost a loved one. I am sorry for your loss. I know what it feels like. Please go follow their YouTube channel. Their link will be in the description below the comment behind the video. I'll see you all at 3 a.m. Have an amazing day. And again, let me know if this story can relate to any of you guys. Have an amazing day and goodbye. Peace. Story of 2015. That's the story. Bye.